shit. All she want is payback for the way I always.
Welcome back to Mediocre Gamers. This is Crimson, and today we're doing a quick look at a tank mechanics simulator. So, let's go see what we got here. A new start. So this is pretty much the tutorial thing. But let's go ahead and we're gonna do this one first. Organizer. Start extraction. So this is how you find tanks. Now you could either take jobs from people who have tanks and want them fixed, or you can go out and find your own tank. This first part will be finding the tank, so we'll show you how to do that. And this is a quick look, not a first look, because I have played this game before, and I rather enjoyed this game. Okay. So it is right here. We're just going to grab our metal detector. And we're just going to kind of make a grid here. And we're just going to listen. Honestly, I expect the tank to be towards the middle. Nothing yet. And then, of course, if you don't find the tank on your first pass, then I suggest you do an up and down. This time, just go down the lines. And eventually you will find it just from walking around. Now, eventually you get better devices. A lot better devices. That will make this process so much easier. But until then, it's pretty much got to go down in lines. Now, me personally, I think it's going to be... I think... Nope. Generally, your first one's going to be more towards the middle. Honestly, we're just waiting for that needle to move a little bit. But you will literally have to walk right over the damn tank. Ah, there we go. I'm going to put a marker down. I'm going to take this back to the truck. Drop it in there. Grab this. Now you can get in the truck, hit E to turn it on, and move the truck. But I don't suggest that on the first one. And then exit vehicle is F. Grab our shovel. Now we put a little marker down there so we know where to go. The tank is on the south side of the marker. Oh, I can't even see the marker now. There it is. The tank is right about here. And yep, we found a tank. Once we've verified there's a tank there, yeah, I can go back to your vehicle. You do have to dig it at least once. You have to see a piece of metal. Yeah, run back to the vehicle, drop this off. Grab your tablet and click on the tank and accept the extraction. Okay. So, then we come over here. They've dug up the hole. We need to grab this pressure washer because this guy is kind of a douche canoe and will not put this vehicle on the back of his truck if it has dirt on it. I'm like, dude, it's a trailer on a truck. Like, what the hell? I don't know what that is. Why is that opposite side like that? Whatever. So we're just gonna clean the tank off. Wouldn't want to get anything dirty. Okay. Drop that on the ground. Then hit R, and then let's go ahead and move trailer to tractor. Pick that up. That will go in your museum at some point. And then hit R again. Let's return to the warehouse. Alright, so that's how you find a tank. Now, what do you do once you have a tank? Well, let's go ahead and get into the fun part here. So this is our tank here. And here's our upgrade panel. So yeah, see, you can get a different vehicle. You can get all sorts of stuff. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna unlock the tablet. Then I'm gonna unlock the grinder. This. And I wish I could unlock that. That lets us... So, what that does is it gives you a toolbar instead of having to pick these things up. But we did get the grinder, which is really important. So, if you don't have the grinder, you have to use this rust tool. I need a control list. Forgot the key binding for it. Show controls. Here we go. I think that is E. Yes. There we go. Okay, pick up a tool. Turn it on, and this is your normal rust remover. If you look down there where it says sanding 0, if we go over something that does have rust on it, it shows us that we are removing the rust, or removing the rust. And then once you've removed the rust, if you grab your sander, and then you sand it nice and clean. And then once you're done sanding, you grab your painter. So this will prime it. And then if you hit X, that will paint it. Now, this wheel is 100%, just the wheel, not the whole assembly. So what we need to do is we need to do that to everything. So first things first, go to your engine stand and put your engine on it. Turn that off. And then go to your turret and put your turret on there. We're going to grab the grinder since the grinder is way faster. So X changes the mode. We want to make sure we're in grinding mode. Well, you can tell, yep, it's removing rust. Alright, we're going to remove the rust from the engine first. We're going to work on the engine first. I like to start with the engine myself. Okay. Go ahead and drop that. Grab our sandblaster. We're just going to blast this real quick. So now, if we hit E, it's going to show us some stuff here. So this red, so there's different stages. So rust removal and sand blasting are red phases. Then painting or needs painting or priming and painting will be yellow, and then finished is green in general. So we need to get some more rust removal off of here. Okay. Now we'll grab our sandblaster and sand these parts down. Okay, now everything on there is green. Perfect. That means the engine is done with the parts you have. Now we hit R and we go to assembly mode. We can see that there's some pieces missing here. So we are definitely missing a piece, at least this piece. So that is an air intake manifold. Any other pieces we're missing? Okay, so what you can do is you can come over to the computer, part shop. What tank is this? This is a KB1. Computer, part shop, KB1, air intake manifold. Check out, accept, and now we have this part. So right click, assemble. Okay, now once we had that in, it gave us some more parts that are missing. Engine header and a plate. So let's go buy those. KB1. And we're on the engine block, so we need one of those. And we need a plate. Check out, accept. Okay, let's go put these on the engine. Now, if we look at the engine, it should say engine condition 100%. Means we are done with the engine. The engine is done. So, go drop this over here. We can get rid of that. And let's grab our sandblaster. Okay, now we're going to work on the turret. So, first things first, get rid of all this rust. All these little parts matter. So let's jump up here. And get all these other little parts. And yes, your tool has an AoE, so if you kind of go in the middle there, you're good. Now, let's go on the inside here. Make sure we're not missing anything. No, all this looks good. Okay, let's drop that. Grab our sander. And we're going to go back up top. And we're just going to kind of blast in the area. And we're going to do the same for the interior. Make sure we're not missing anything on the interior. Okay, now what you can do to check your work, should all be yellow. You should see no red. I see no red. Now, the next thing you could do to check your work, go to tank status, go to analyze, and let's look at the turret exterior. Alright, everything is at 66%, which is what happens if you have all sanding and rust removal done, and all the parts are there. So now let's look at the interior, and they are all done too, and all the parts are there. So if you're missing a part, it'll be grayed like this, which is parts you want to buy. So we know the turret has all the correct parts. So now we just need to finish. So we'll grab our paint gun. Make sure we're in primer mode. We're just going to make sure that we have everything primed. I like that the prime color is this bright red. Now, a quick note is, if I do this, it actually says it's done. It's finished. But we know it's not because it's primed and not painted. So just have to be careful with that. You might need to verify. So like if you're all green but you're seeing red spots, then that's prime spots and not painted spots. Okay. So, down at the bottom, turret exterior condition 100%. So the exterior of this turret is completely done. Now, you could technically, if you wanted to verify, you could take all the parts off. So I want to take this gun mantlet off, and it's telling me I need to take off this thing first. Now I could take the gun mantlet. And then say, some tanks have little itty bitty pieces in here that you might not be able to get to for sanding, spraying, and that's how you would do that. Now, if I go into assembly mode, I can now put the gun mantlet back on. I can now put the barrel back. And I can put there. And I can verify that it still says 100%. So now, let's go ahead and grab our paint gun. Go back into primer mode. And let's hit these things. So the chair, that. Okay, now let's go to paint mode. Okay, if we look, turret interior condition 100%. So the turret is done. So the only thing that's not done is this. So let's go ahead and get to it. And what we're doing is we're just going to try to get everything we can see. Now there's going to be a bunch of like stuff that we won't be able to see. Although the KB one is pretty easy. Okay. Notice some of these items I can't remove the rust on. So this one, at the very bottom it says replaceable only. So what that means is I have to remove them. I can't fix them. I have to rebuy them. Okay. Grab our grinder, make sure everything is done there. Let's get to grinding that. There's a lot of parts on this tank that are missing. So we're going to be having to buy a lot of parts. Now technically you own this tank. So if you wanted to, you could say fix it up, not buy any parts. Just fix up all the parts you do have and then completely disassemble it and keep the parts. So if you find another KV1, you will have a bunch of extra parts available. That is honestly a very sound tactic. Just trying to get more of this rust off of everything. There we go. And again, that is a part that we cannot fix. Okay. I also want to get on the inside of the turret. So you can step in here, kind of get what you can see. Now what else you can do is you can hit R. Tank status. Nope. Interior options. Get inside. And we're going to sit in the driver's seat. Now we have a little bit extra. But looks like all this stuff is already grinded, so we're good there. Okay, so now we can go back. So it looks like all sanding is done. We can verify sanding is done, so let's go to our analysis. No. Okay, that needs more rust removal. Also, you can get down underneath in case there's anything you missed down there. So now let's look at our tank status. Okay, 33% means rust has been removed. These items that are gray are items we don't have, missing parts. Whole interior, okay. Wheels. Yep, rust has been removed. Fuel system. No, we have an air tank that has not been. And we have some stuff on the interior. So now the question is, how do you get to stuff like that, like this? That is in there. Okay, well, let's see if we can get to it. We can. It's right here on top. Drop that. And then if we look, it's still going to say, I bet you, nope, we're good on the gearbox, fuel system, good on the fuel system, tracks, the one piece of track that we have. Okay. So it looks like everything has, all the rust has been removed. Let's go ahead and grab our sandblaster. This is the fun part. And blast it all. And it's easy to tell if something hasn't been blasted because it still has that old rusty look to it. Like I said, the KV-1 is actually a very easy tank to work with. Mainly because you have access to all the transmission rods from either the inside of the tank without having to take the wheels off. But if you do have to take the wheels off, I'll show you how you gotta do that. Let's get this up here. And we're just gonna keep sandblasting the tank. There we go. And we're gonna sandblast everything on the inside. And sandblast components there. Make sure we, so if we hit here, then we go get inside into the driver's seat and just make sure that everything has been sandblasted. Everything has. Get out. Let's get back up here. And you can, now with like metal items, you can kind of see them just shine up as you sandblast them. And they look good. Just checking the rods, tension bars anyways. Looks all good. And everything says finished. Yep. Okay, now if we hit E, we should see no red anywhere. Ah, found some red. And found some more red. There we go. Let's go to the other side and just double check. Ah, I see some red. Blast that. Okay. Now you can pull these things off. Suspension arm. And there. Is your tension rod. So if I take this one off and I take this one off, actually I don't think this is the right one. Nope, it is. Boom, tension rod's out. And then I could say I was missing that tension rod, I can place it, Let's go to assembly mode. Put the tension rod back on. Put the suspension arm back on. Put the wheel back on. This will tell us we don't have that part. Let's go put these things back on too. We don't have that part. We don't have that part. Okay. So now we need to paint it. And you have two choices at this point, actually, before we even start painting it. Let's buy all the missing parts. So if we go to R, tank analyzing, analyze tank, verify nothing is in the red. Red would mean it needs sanding or rust removal. At this point, we could just sell the tank, or the tank value's $18,000. Not bad. Or we could buy missing parts, and so you can buy them with rust removal, with sanding, or primed. Let's buy them sanding. It costs us $7,000. That's almost all of our money. Alright, now if we go into assembly mode and we try to put this wheel on, we have it. We now have the parts. So let's get everything assembled. Oh, except for that toolbox. Why is that? Oh, well, it's not what we're trying to do. We want to put that on there. Put that belt on. Put these tracks on. Click on it. There we go. We need to remove that. So now, if we pull up our tablet, nope. Hit R. There we go. Storage. We have a couple of these items here. We're going to select, and we're just going to sell those because they're damaged and we can't repair them. But now, because we had them in the inventory, it didn't buy them when we bought all the missing parts. So let's go back into, and then go back to buy missing parts. Accept. Now we have all the missing parts. Let's go into assembly mode. Okay, so if the cover's showing up, that means we have everything inside there. Now first let's look. So there's still stuff in here that needs to be sanded and primed and everything like that. I think that needs... So let's grab our sandblaster. Looks like we're good there. Okay, go back back into assembly mode. There we go. Put the other tow rope on. Put that wheel on. Put that wheel on. Let's get the tracks on there. And zoop. If I click on the belt, it'll recenter. Click on that belt, recenter. And drive that pin in. Click on the belt. And drive the pin in. And there we go. It's a little cathartic, like it's really enjoyable. So, I'm not seeing any missing pieces. Of course, someone's mowing the lawn outside. Only missing pieces we're seeing is this right here, and I don't want to put that on there yet because I want to paint. So, let's grab our paint gun. Make sure we're on primer mode. And just get everything primed up. By the end of this, everything on this tank should be red. Yeah, I mean, is it exciting gameplay? No, which is why you won't see a video series on this unless you guys really like hit that like and subscribe button and, you know, make your voices known. I don't plan to make this a series. I mean, I easily could. I could try to get every tank in the game and go through it step by step, but that seems like something that most people probably don't want. There we go. I mean, this one's already going to be an hour-long video. Oh, we gotta get these little toe rings. Make sure we get the insides. Make sure we don't forget anything either. Make sure we get the ones in the back and make sure we finish off everything. I'm gonna have to rebuy those parts, aren't I? Yes, I am. 'Cause I made a boo-boo. I don't think anything on the inside needs to be painted, but see, these are the tension rods, and we just want to make sure we're getting those. And those are the tension rods down there. We want to make sure we're getting those. Otherwise, you got to take the wheels off to get them. Okay. So if we hit E, do we see any yellows other than the things that we can't change? Yep, right there. And right there. You also see these bolts, and it looks like there's one missing. So, if you wanted to make sure, so let's disassemble these toolboxes, this tow rope, take the side plate off. Okay, say we want to get rid of this one. Okay. Pull the screws out. I mean, this is if you want to be 100% perfect. Which I do. Yeah, it's definitely missing some bolts. Now, we're going to do that to the other side also. Okay, I guess I didn't need to pull off that side plate. That's cool. Yeah, even this one's missing a bolt. So now, if we go into assembly mode, we could put these right back on. And now we grabbed all the bolts. And again, this doesn't actually change the rating. This is purely because you want to make sure everything is on this tank. This is OCD more than the game is. But I would have just lost my mind had I missed a bolt was missing. But yes, you do have to take it off if you want to put it back on with the bolt. Click on this one. We can put that side plate on. We didn't need to take it off. Okay, so now all the bolts are there. So let's go ahead and find our, if you can't find a certain tool, just hit R and reset tools. Puts them all back on the workbench. Okay, painting mode. Now we're going to paint the tank. Unfortunately, painted and primed show up as both green, so you have to just do this one by visual sight. And each tank has a different paint color. It does feel like painting takes longer than priming. Let's get these painted. Now you can also outsource your painting and your priming. Technically, you could outsource anything. So, let me see if I can show you. I don't have the money. So if I took this wheel off, I can go into my inventory and have it painted or primed and painted. But it would cost money because I'd be sending it to a paint shop instead of doing it myself. Take the time, do the painting yourself, and you'll get more rewards. Okay, I don't see any red left on it, except for right here. And that chair probably needs painting. Yep. I'm just verifying that none of that needs painting. Nope. Okay, let's get into the vehicle. Just verify. Everything says finished. It does. Okay, let's get out. Now, we will go ahead and go back to assembly mode. And we're going to put this engine cover on. The engine hatch. And these pieces. Exhaust piece, exhaust piece. Now these are all pieces that we had to buy, but if you notice they're already pre-sanded, so we just need to paint them. Wherever I put the paint gun, there it is. So, let's toggle back over to primer. In the middle of a pandemic, but they still gotta have a beautiful yard out there, don't they? Okay, now let's switch over to paint. Alright. So there, we need those other boxes, so let's hit T, nope, let's hit R, let's go to storage, outsource repairs, go to paint. See, we can't repair these, but somebody else can, so they're gonna repair them all the way. Takes a little bit of time. While that's doing that, let's take a look at our tank status. So just these are missing. Everything else is at 100%, except for this paint. So there are always going to be, it's hard to get 100% on a tank. I don't know why, it just is sometimes. So let's see if we can jump properly. There we go. Hit R, assembly mode. Okay, we're still waiting on that part, it looks like. Nope, they're there. Put the the boxes down, and now they're painted, cleaned. And you know what? We could have done that with the busted one from earlier instead of selling it and then rebuying it. Okay, 100%. Everything is 100%. So let's put the engine back. And let's put the turret back. Okay. This tank looks good. Everything on the side, everything's 100%. Let's go give her a test drive. Gotta move tank. You know what? I don't think I've. We'll just put it in the yard for now. Now let's okay, so delete that email because we went and got the tank. Now if we go out here, you go see the tank. Now you can unlock a shooting range later. You can unlock an actual driving range. Unfortunately, I don't think I have those unlocked. Oh, test drive. Okay, so first thing is fill the liquids. We're going to fill the coolant. Switch sides, fill this one. Fill oil. And there's the actual coolant. First one's fuel. There we go. Okay, now toggle engine. Just want to make sure everything's working. Okay. Okay, so we have not unlocked the thing. But if we go like this, can't see what it'd look like if you were driving. But open up the hatches. This would be, oh, there's the driver's hatch. So let's get out of here. So everything is working on it. Sadly, we can't go test drive it because we haven't unlocked the option. Alright, so now we can go to Analyze Tank. Look how much it sells for now. Sell tank. Boom. I suggest selling your first couple to build up the money. Then you can start saving tanks. Actually, just go back out to the yard real quick. There's one other thing that you can do other than extracting tanks, waiting for an email to extract tanks. You can sometimes find tanks in the junkyard. So here's a tank. If we analyze, this is a Sherman. it is missing a lot of parts, and it is in bad condition. But look how much we buy it for. Super cheap. But it's going to take a lot of money to fix up too. This one is a Panzer A. And this looks like another Sherman. Yep, UZ-8. So that's another way, and these change constantly, what's available out here. Now, since it's a long-ass video, might as well. This is the museum. Unfortunately, we don't have that unlocked. So, say we got that tank finished, we could actually put it in the museum once we have the museum unlocked. So let's go back here. So there's also missions you can do. Let's check here. Yep. So to gain this, to gain reputation, you have to do missions. If you go to your email, so this is, we found a tank. That's the extraction that we did earlier, but we also have a repair offer. So this guy has a Panzer A. He needs it renovated. You can earn up to 14,000. So it's not as good as finding your own tank and selling it, but you get 39 reputation. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So this is another KV1, and it's not worth a lot. It's the tutorial one. So let's go ahead and accept this one. So what that means is now, let's go to your organizer. So tank is at 30% right now. We need to get it to 79% to gain the money and the reputation. Now, we don't have to buy parts. We don't have to fix any parts. So whatever parts are missing are not our responsibility. What is our responsibility is removing the rust, sanding it, priming it, and painting the parts that are there. And that's just like we were doing earlier. Move that over there. Move that over there. Grab your... I always suggest getting this angle grinder done out first. And make sure you're in grinding mode. And just grind this away. Now this is a German tank, so it's going to have a lot more interesting things. Get that antenna. And it also has some parts that cannot be grinded safely. You have to just replace them. Like that one. That. Oh, the other thing is, you might need to get underneath these. See? So if we look, that tension bar is rust. But we couldn't hit it because it was underneath the wheel. So on this tank, you got to take off all the damn wheels. All of the wheels to get to those tension bars. Yeah, I'm not going to go through this one, but yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to take off all the wheels, clean up all the tension bars, because you can't get to them from the inside a lot of times. Now, a couple of these you can, but the ones back here you might not be able to. And then you'll need to clean up everything on the inside, A lot of times you'll have to take off these engine hatches and engine covers. And take off the antenna to get that engine cover off. Now, and then here we'll take this tow rope, because we can't repair that. So we're going to take the tow rope and the box. And that is also another item we cannot repair. These fuel hoses and the engine deck. So we got a bunch of items in our inventory that we can't repair ourselves. So storage. If we select all, outsource repairs. Also, notice we have this engine hatch, which we can do. Let's say we don't want to do it. So we're like, okay, we got enough money. Time is more valuable. Let's go ahead and just outsource those. So now it's going to repair all the stuff. Now you can individually select the ones that, you know, like these that you can't do, these fuel things. And it does take a little bit of time. But now, removes the externals and makes it a little easier. So technically, I guess you don't have to take the wheels off. But I kind of like taking the wheels off. I like the insanity of it all. Yeah. This one you can get to all the tension bars without. There's the gearbox. This is transmission. And that is I. I does that. Those are ones you have to outsource. Oh, here's something tricky. That cap, if you remove it, usually there's other things underneath it. So I like to just verify. See, these things were underneath it, and that one's got rust on it. So, could you imagine getting to that later, when you have the whole tank assembled? Yep, that happens. All right. Next thing is we have those parts. So let's go ahead and see. They're fully painted now. Jack is fully painted. So all those parts that we outsourced are done. So that's pretty much the game. Is it for everybody? No. No, definitely not. Is it for me? Hell yeah. I love this game. I love the just tediness of it. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but I enjoy this game a lot. So, thank you guys for watching. Sorry it's a super long, quick look. This wasn't really quick, was it? But there's a lot of things going on in this game. So, thank you guys and have a wonderful day.